Hey Cal fans, this is Burke18 back after a 1-week hiatus with the football film study on California Golden Blogs. I haven't been able to get film of the UCLA game yet, probably mercifully, and so this week we're going to look back at the Arizona game. Normally I try to find something positive and encouraging for these videos, but honestly, if you're still following Cal football at this point, then you're probably okay with a little pain and frustration. So in this video, we're going to get to the bottom of Cal's turnover problem. As a spoiler, there are a lot of different things going wrong here. Alright, so for better or for worse, here we go. This is our first pick six from the game, which happened late in the third quarter. What we're going to see here is that the scheme was fine, the read was fine, and the receivers were fine, and so the real problem here is with McElwain's mechanics. What we see pre-snap is that Cal's in a trips formation, and Arizona's playing essentially a version of the Tampa 2. In the Tampa 2 coverage, the safeties will divide the deep field in halves. Here we see him sitting at 13 and 14 yards off the line of scrimmage, while the linebacker here will be responsible for running with anything through the middle. On this play, we're running Hawkins through the middle, and so that's going to get rid of that linebacker and open up a void in the intermediate middle. Meanwhile, we see that Noah's defenders lined up over him with outside leverage. Depending on what Arizona was expecting, there can be a few reasons for this, but on this play, the outcome is that this alignment discourages the swing pass to Laird, right? So if Wharton blocks his cornerback, then this defender's still in position to trigger and get to the swing pass. This leverage, combined with Hawkins' route clearing out that linebacker in the middle, is going to give Noah's inside breaking route plenty of room, and once the ball's in the air, we can see that he has a lot of separation. This should have been an easy first down pass on 2nd and 12, but instead McElwain's going to overthrow it and Arizona's going to get the interception. A lot of McElwain's interceptions come on overthrows like this, and whenever a quarterback's consistently sailing the ball, it's usually going to be due to something mechanical. Now, I'm not a quarterback guru, and so I'm not even going to try to get into the details of breaking this down here, but this is generally one of those little things that's incredibly hard to fix during the season when most of your practice time and film study is devoted to game preparation. Whatever the problem is, it's ultimately fixable with the right quarterback coach, so that's a good thing, but it's probably not going to happen until the offseason. Moving on from that, here's the second interception of the game, and this one's just a terrible read. There's no real way to sugarcoat it. So at the bottom of the screen, Arizona's playing a quarter structure, and so the cornerback and safety will be responsible for covering the wide receiver and tight end on anything vertical, while this outside linebacker widens to defend a potential curl. At the top of the screen, Arizona's in more of a cover 2 look, and so this safety is a deep half player over the top, with these two defenders bracketing our two receivers inside and outside. On this play, we're running Bunting and Noah vertical, and it looks like they've each got a sight adjustment built into their route. So when the safeties are split like this, it's really common for offenses to have their receivers bend vertical routes inside into the open middle of the field, and it looks like Noah and Bunting are both doing this on this play. We should only be going to these routes if the safeties widen out to the sidelines, though, and leave the middle of the field open, but that's not what they do on this play. As a result, the safety over the top of Bunting gets hands on the ball, which is again overthrown by a little bit, and the other safety gets the interception. When the safeties stay in the middle of the field like this, the throw that we want is going to be to the sidelines, where we probably could have hit Wharton underneath a bailing cornerback for an easy 8 yards. Okay, so those two plays are probably on McElwain, but as Coach Wilcox repeatedly says in his interviews, there are plenty of mistakes and mishaps to go around. This play is our third turnover, and it's a strip sack on McElwain, and this is a good example of why you probably shouldn't listen to commentators on these broadcasts when it comes to scheme. As we watch this play in real time, we're going to see this defensive end come completely unblocked off the edge, and the first thing that we're going to think when we see this is that someone blew a blocking assignment. One of the commentators also proposed that Arizona just made the right play call at the right time, but really, the cause of this fumble is something much more mundane and ridiculous, and we can see it especially well from the end zone footage. The defensive end who's going to get the sack is right here, lined up over Bunting, and as we see, he's playing with a slight inside shade. Bunting's responsible for blocking him in this protection, and so at the snap, he's initially going to step down inside, right? Because that inside gap is the defensive end's quickest route to the quarterback, and so that has to be Bunting's first priority. The problem is that when Bunting steps down inside and then tries to redirect outside, he's going to trip over his left tackle and fall down, giving us another Keystone Cops quality highlight. That mercifully brings us to the last play in this video, in which we find new and exciting ways to turn the ball over. The guy McElwain's targeting here is Ian Bunting, and to get a good look at this play, I want to stop it right here where we can see Bunting sinking his hips and getting ready to make his cut, and we can see McElwain starting his throw. If you're McElwain here, you see this linebacker sinking inside of and underneath Bunting, and so you really want Bunting to break outside, and that's where McElwain's going to throw the ball. The problem is that Bunting breaks inside, and so this ends up looking like a bad throw directly to the safety. Now, I don't know how this concept is coached, and so I can't tell you authoritatively who's wrong and who's right here, but I would speculate that Bunting is running an option route on this play. If this is true, then it means that he could have potentially broken in either direction based on where the nearest defender was, and it looks to me like he didn't see this linebacker dropping inside of him, and so broke to the middle of the field to try and create an easier throw over the middle. McElwain, on the other hand, saw that linebacker dropping to the inside, and so was expecting Bunting to break out. When Bunting didn't do this, the safety was the only player in position to catch the pass. If this interpretation is true, and I have to reiterate that there's some guesswork here, then what we have is a quarterback and a tight end who aren't on the same page, which would suggest that we're trying to run plays that are too advanced for where our players are right now. Alright, that's it for this video. If you want to read about stuff that's a little bit less depressing, then check out my Pac-12 content at patreon.com/Burke18, where I've got some stuff about Utah's upset over Stanford, and I'm about to post some stuff on Oregon's upset over Washington. But otherwise, until next week, beat the Beavers and go Bears!